Welcome to your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a home health aide allegedly stealing $100,000 in jewelry, an actor causing the evacuation of a train in Westport, and much more. John Kovach joins me with a look at your forecast and later on a Nutmeg Sports update. And as always, Donald Ang will have your look back on this day in history. But first, a home health aide accused of stealing more than $100,000 in jewelry from a Stratford home is facing a felony larceny charge. Stratford police arrested 32-year-old Nicole Passander of Ansonia last Friday and charged her with first-degree larceny. Now, police said Passander allegedly stole more than $100,000 in rings while she was working as a home health aide in a home. Stratford police said an investigation was commenced on March 18th when the complainant reported the suspected theft of the jewelry. Now, a warrant was issued for Passander's arrest and she was taken into custody. Passander posted a $30,000 bond and she's scheduled to appear in court soon. Now, anyone with additional information is asked to contact Stratford detectives at 203-385-4126. And in other news, Trumbull police have arrested a West Haven man on third-degree sexual assault charges after police say he assaulted a family acquaintance. Police said a local teen reported that 38-year-old William Gordon had assaulted her in his vehicle after giving her a ride home. Now, Gordon drove past the girl's home allegedly to a secluded area in Trumbull where that assault took place. Now, the teen reported that assault to family members who then contacted police. The victim said she felt compelled to come forward after she witnessed Gordon talking to her younger sister and she wanted to protect her from his advances. Now, Gordon is known to the victim through extended family. Police received a warrant for Gordon's arrest and he was taken into custody on April 6th at Milford Superior Court, where he was appearing on an unrelated matter. Now, according to reports, Gordon's charges were later upgraded to first-degree sexual assault when police learned more details about that incident. He's currently being held on a $100,000 bond for court on April 13th. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a former Silicon Valley actor has been charged by federal criminal complaint with intentionally conveying to law enforcement false information about an explosive device on a train that was traveling to Connecticut. Now, according to a federal press release, New York City resident Todd Joseph, or TJ Miller, 36 years old, known best for playing Ehrlich Bachman on Silicon Valley, was arrested Monday night at LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York. He appeared in court on Tuesday and was then released on a $100,000 bond. Now, the criminal complaint alleges that Miller called a 911 dispatcher on March 8th, New Jersey, and reported that he was on Amtrak train 2256 traveling from D.C. toward Penn Station in New York City, and a female passenger with brown hair and a scarf had a bomb in her bag. Now, by the time that Amtrak investigators received a notice of that call and were mobilized to stop and search that train was in Connecticut. Now, Amtrak officials stopped train 2256 at Greens Farm Station in Westport, where passengers were directed to disembark and bomb squad members boarded and then searched that train. Now, no evidence of any explosive device or materials was detected, according to the complaint. Now, investigators responded to the train also determined that Miller actually had been traveling on Amtrak train 2258, not 2256. So when Amtrak train 2258 arrived at Greens Farm Station shortly thereafter, it was also stopped, inspected, and eventually found not to contain any explosive devices or materials. Now, during that stop, Amtrak officers interviewed an attendant from the first-class car where Miller had been sitting. The attendant said that Miller appeared intoxicated upon boarding in Washington, D.C., consumed multiple drinks, 2 glasses of wine and 2 double scotch and soda drinks on the train, and had been removed in New York owing to his alleged intoxication. And in other news, Stanford police have arrested a man they say participated in a phone scam that defrauded a 90-year-old Stanford woman out of $9,000. On April 10th, investigators of the Stanford Police Department Financial Crimes Unit went to Bergen County Jail in Hackensack, New Jersey, and took custody of Luis Geraldo Fernandez, age 31, on an active arrest warrant. Now, Geraldo Fernandez is suspected in the participation of a phone scam against a 90-year-old female Stanford resident who who was defrauded out of $9,000 while posing as an acquaintance of hers. Now, with the joint cooperation of the Fair Lawn, New Jersey Police Department, Geraldo Fernandez was extradited to Connecticut and held on a $50,000 court-set bond and given a court date of April 24th. Now, Stanford police say this was an excellent job performed by investigator Paul DeRue, who specializes in crimes perpetrated on elderly residents of the city. And a 36-year-old Derby man was arrested on a warrant at Norwalk Superior Court April 4th in connection to the December 19, 2017 burglary of the Gulf Service Center on Danbury Road in Wilton. Now, Wilton police say that 33-year-old Casey McAdams of Hickory Road allegedly used a hammer to break the glass door and enter the business during the early morning hours. Now, once inside, police said he took the cash drawer and numerous packs of cigarettes. Now, the total amount was $400 in cash, about $125 worth of cigarettes, and damage to the building was estimated at about $700. Well, last week, Wilton police arrested his accomplice, Alicia Sharametta. Now, these two arrests close out that burglary investigation, police said. Now, the 30-year-old West Haven woman was arrested on April 2nd, and police said a video showed a man smashing that glass with a hammer, taking the cash drawer and cigarettes, and then running out of the business. Sharametta was the alleged driver of that getaway vehicle, according to police. And in other news, a 75-year-old Florida man faces more than 7 years in prison for operating an extensive real estate investment and financial scheme in Fairfield County. Now, the Department of Justice says that scheme cost investors some $28 million and lenders another $37 million for a total combined loss of $64.7 million. Now, John DeMena of Vero Beach, Florida, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of fraud on September 11, 2017. Free on a $250,000 bond, he was ordered to report to prison July 9th. Now, between approximately 2010 and March 2016, DeMena had losses on some properties, in some cases preparing spreadsheets that inflated the projected cash flows of projects and then sharing those spreadsheets with his business partners, knowing that they would be marketing those ventures to potential investors. DeMena also provided his business partners with false sales contracts, false lease commitments, and other false documents concerning the status and prospect of those various real estate investments. All right, well, taking a turn now, we're going to throw it over to John Kovach, who's in for Frank Granito today with a look at your forecast. John.
Things might be taking a turn, Kate.
Good.
We're looking at mostly sunny skies today. Looking at some true spring weather possibly coming. Temperatures today expected to top out around 54 degrees with a light breeze this afternoon, around 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies overnight with a low of 36 heading into Thursday morning. Thursday, temperatures will be increasing into the mid-50s again under partly sunny skies in the morning. Then we'll see increasing cloud cover starting around 1. Breezy conditions in the afternoon with wind gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour. A low of 45 overnight Thursday as cloud cover starts to break before what should be, can't believe I'm saying this, Kate, warm Friday around Fairfield County. Sunny skies, temperatures hovering right around 70 degrees. Back to you, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, John. And we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, John will have your Nutmeg Sports update. Don will take a look back on this day in history, and we have more local news after this.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during Ram Truck Month, get up to $14,000 off on all in-stock 2017 Ram 1500 pickups. Come in and see us for details. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics walk-in urgent care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to myorthoct.com, like them on Facebook.
Welcome back to this April 11th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, a 1900-year-old organization abruptly changes course. First, there we go. Back to 1968, President Lyndon Johnson signs the Civil Rights Act of 1968, which prohibits discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of housing, and also makes it a federal crime to injure or intimidate people by reason of race, religion, or national origin. It was a while ago, but there are a couple of pending federal lawsuits right now as attorney generals in Illinois and Michigan have alleged that white potential home buyers are shown more than 5 times as many listings as black home buyers with equal income and credit scores. Now we go to 1970. The Apollo 13 mission launches. That is Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, and Kevin Bacon there left to right. I mentioned the actors because Ron Howard took great effort to get the technical details right, but the movie knowingly got its tagline wrong. It's one of the most famous quotes in movie history. It was Jack Swigert that said, "Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here." Mission Control replied, "This is Houston, say again please." Lovell then said, "Houston, we've had a problem." It was Tom Hanks that changed the line to the present tense to make it a little bit more urgent. 1986, a gun battle in Dade County, Florida between 2 bank robbers and 8 FBI agents. Despite having been shot 18 times, the 2 robbers managed to keep fighting, killing 2 agents and wounding 5 others. This marked what you might call the beginning of the arms race in law enforcement. Revolvers and shotguns began disappearing from police cars, replaced by high-capacity pistols and AR-15 rifles, largely as a result of the Miami shootout. Finally, now we go to 1963 in Rome for this.
La lettera enciclica Pacem in Terris sta per prendere le vie ampie del mondo e l'animo nostro, lo si può ben immaginare, è tutto preso da profonda emozione.
I'm thankful for the subtitles there. My Italian's not great, but that was Pope Paul XXIII issuing the encyclical Pacem in Terris, which literally means peace on earth. That's the first line of the document. Now, this encyclical is among the most important of the thousands of papal letters for a couple of reasons. One, it was not addressed to Catholics or even to Christians. It was addressed to all men of goodwill. It also specifically addressed world conflict, including the Cold War and nuclear proliferation, calling world conflict contrary to human rights, and it made the protection of human rights, such as life and self-determination, the individual responsibility of all men of goodwill. John would die a few weeks later. He called Pacem in Terris his Easter gift to humanity. Pope Francis made John a saint in 2013. That is your look back in history for today, April 11th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, the state of Connecticut is leaning toward replacing the Stevenson Dam Bridge that connects Monroe and Oxford over Route 34 with design targeted in 2023 and construction starting in 2024. Now, that is the word Monroe First Selectman Ken Kellogg recently received from the State Department of Transportation, which will soon begin design work on replacing that Stevenson Dam Bridge with a new bridge, the location of which has yet to be determined. Now, the state DOT's report says that the current bridge that runs on top of the 99-year-old dam is structurally deficient and functionally obsolete. Now, the existing span is part of the original bridge and dam facility constructed in 1919 and later modified in 1955 to include 2 spans over 2 gates at the spillway on the north end of that dam. Now, the state will begin planning to replace the bridge, which would include 2 12-foot travel lanes, 2 8-foot shoulders, and a 5-foot sidewalk on one side of the bridge. Now, this plan involves replacement only of the bridge and not the dam. The latest plans would have the new bridge downstream and away from the dam. Now, that project will be funded with 80% federal and 20% state funds. The present bridge has 90-degree turns on both sides of the dam and some poor visibility, leading to a high level of accidents. The DOT says 9,200 vehicles pass over that bridge each day. And New Canaan Planning and Zoning Commission alternate member Kristen Nelson discussed with the commission at its March 27th meeting possible draft language to oversee transitional housing such as the Sober House on West Road. Now, Nielsen said she met with representatives of Silver Hill Hospital to get some input and has studied language in the Americans with Disabilities Act, the federal law that prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities. Now, she pointed out that under the Fair Housing Act, people in recovery from alcohol and drug problems are considered to be disabled. Now, the proposed transitional housing regulations could allow up to 8 rooms in a residence, which would be more liberal than the town's current restriction of 4 rooms under rooming house rules. Now, Nielsen said rooming houses are only allowed in B residence zones in New Canaan. Now, the town is hoping to create some oversight of the transitional housing, such as sober houses, intended for people recovering from substance abuse issues, but the rules can't be so restrictive that they violate federal protections. Now, there's much more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And in other New Canaan news, the $6 million sports fields and track project continues to progress in Waveney Park, adjacent to New Canaan High School. Now, new aerial photos, as you can see, taken by Ryan Teeter of RDDS Sports Design on Monday, April 9th, show the reconstructed 10-year-old artificial turf field next to the Lapham Community Center, a new large artificial turf field with a smaller new field attached to it between the tennis courts and the water tower, and a rebuilt oval track to the north. Now, the rebuilt turf field is in use, and the new turf fields with fencing and gates are being finished and may be open for use by April 21st, according to the town of New Canaan's recreation director, Steve Benko. Now, the track is in use, though it will be getting an additional top coat when the warm weather arrives for good. Now, the $6 million fields and track project is being paid through a public-private partnership between the town of New Canaan, which is paying $3.9 million, and the New Canaan Athletic Foundation, which is paying $2.15 million. Again, more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And Milford's Jay Rowe, a professional jazz musician and composer, each year organizes a jazz concert to benefit Milford's music education. Now, he wants to give back to the community that gave him a nudge in the right direction, he said. Rowe started playing guitar when he was 8 and then took piano lessons from a legendary Milford piano teacher, Pat Nesnick. Now, all the while, he said, school served as an outlet for his skill and fueled his passion. He said teachers and administrators encouraged him to play for school assemblies, and there were music clubs and activities. Well, the Milford Mirror sat down with Jay recently, and here's a bit of him playing. Take a look. Over the past 16 years, Rowe has donated nearly $78,000 to the Milford School District thanks to his annual concerts. Now, this year's concert series will take place on Friday, April 27th and Saturday, April 28th at the Parsons Government Center, featuring 2 separate artist lineups. Now, online tickets can be purchased now at 16th Annual SmoothJazzForScholars.eventbrite.com, but you can get all the details and a lot more information at MilfordMirror.com. All right, let's throw it back over to John Kovach now for your Nutmeg Sports Update. John.
Thanks, Kate. The HAN Network was live at Tiger Hollow in Ridgefield yesterday for a boys and girls lacrosse doubleheader as the Lady Tigers played host to the Blue Wave, followed by a boys opening their season against the Greenwich Cardinals. Despite many different faces on the field from last season's FCAC Girls Lacrosse Championship, Tuesday afternoon's rematch did not go much differently as the Blue Wave rolled the Tigers by a final of 21-6. Darien was led by the stellar play of Nicole and Ashley Humphrey, who combined for 13 points in the game. The Blue Wave offense settled into a groove late in the first half as they would outscore Ridgefield 19-4 over the final 30 minutes of regulation. Seniors Chrissy Fiore and Katie Ramsey each had multi-goal games, and sophomore Sarah Jakes produced 7 points on 3 goals and 4 assists. Caroline Colonel led the way for Ridgefield, netting 3 goals in a losing effort. The tide would turn the Tigers' way in the nightcap as the boys' team opened its season with a big win over conference foe Greenwich by a final of 13-8. Despite trailing for most of the first half, Ridgefield would score 3 unanswered goals in the final 3 minutes of the second quarter to draw even at 5 before opening it up in the second half. Led by senior Reed Kagan's 5-goal outburst, Ridgefield outscored Greenwich 8-3 in the second half and handed the Cardinals their 3rd consecutive loss of the season as the Redbirds fell to 1-3 overall. Also worth noting in the FCAC yesterday, a big win for the New Canaan Rams as they defeated the Wilton Warriors 11-10 in a matchup for perennial powers in the state of Connecticut. Looking to get revenge for last season's FCAC quarterfinal loss, the Rams led just once in the game, but it was when it counted most as they outscored the Warriors 3-1 in the fourth quarter on the way to a come-from-behind victory. Liam Griffiths capped the rally, scoring the game-winning goal with 1:59 remaining. That's going to do it for Nutmeg Sports. Back to you, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, John. And we're going to step out for a break, come back, and recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
I've had Newtown Savings Bank my whole life. You don't have to worry about talking to a machine. You're talking to real people. You're getting real help. I'm banking local, and I'm loving it.
Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. A home health aide accused of stealing more than $100,000 in jewelry from a Stratford home is facing a felony larceny charge. Stratford police arrested 32-year-old Nicole Passander of Ansonia last Friday and charged her with first-degree larceny. Now, police said Passander allegedly stole more than $100,000 in rings while she was working as a home health aide. Now, police said an investigation was commenced on March 18th when that complainant reported the suspected theft of the jewelry. A warrant was issued for Passander's arrest and she was taken into custody. Now, Passander posted a $30,000 bond and was scheduled to appear in court on Friday. Now, anyone with additional information is asked to contact detectives in Stratford at 203-385-4128. And Trumbull police have arrested a West Haven man on third-degree sexual assault charges after police say he assaulted a family acquaintance. Now, police said a local teen reported that 38-year-old William Gordon had assaulted her in his vehicle after giving her a ride home. Now, she alleged that Gordon drove past the girl's home to a secluded area in Trumbull where that assault took place. Now, the teen reported the assault to family members who then contacted police. Now, the victim said she felt compelled to come forward after she witnessed Gordon talking to her younger sister and she wanted to protect her from his advances. Now, Gordon is known to the victim through extended family members. Police received a warrant for Gordon's arrest and he was taken into custody on April 6th at Milford Superior Court, where he was appearing on an unrelated matter. Now, according to reports, Gordon's charges were later upgraded to first-degree sexual assault when police learned more details about the incident. He's currently being held on a $100,000 bond for court on April 13th. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a former Silicon Valley actor has been charged by federal criminal complaint with intentionally conveying to law enforcement false information about an explosive device on a train that was traveling to Connecticut. Now, according to a federal press release, New York City resident Todd Joseph, or TJ Miller, 36 years old, known best for playing Ehrlich Bachman on Silicon Valley, was arrested Monday night at LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York. Now, he appeared in court Tuesday and was released on a $100,000 bond. Now, the criminal complaint alleges that Miller called a 911 dispatcher on March 18th in New Jersey and reported that he was on Amtrak train 2256 traveling from Washington, D.C. toward Penn Station in New York City, and he said a female passenger with brown hair and a scarf had a bomb in her bag. Well, by the time that Amtrak investigators received notice of that call and were mobilized to stop and search the train, it was in Connecticut. Now, Amtrak officials stopped train 2256 at Greens Farm Station in Westport, where passengers were directed to disembark, and bomb squad members boarded and then searched the train. Now, no evidence of any explosive device or materials were found, but investigators responding to the train then determined that Miller had actually been traveling on Amtrak train 2258. Now, when that train arrived at Greens Farm Station shortly thereafter, it was stopped, inspected, and eventually found not to contain any explosive devices or materials. Now, during that stop, Amtrak officers then interviewed an attendant from the first-class car where Miller had been sitting, and that attendant said that Miller appeared intoxicated upon boarding in Washington and consumed multiple drinks, including 2 glasses of wine and 2 double scotch and soda drinks on that train. They said he had been removed in New York owing to his alleged intoxication. And Stanford police have arrested a man they say participated in a phone scam that defrauded a 90-year-old Stanford woman out of $9,000. On April 10th, investigators of the Stanford Police Department's Financial Crimes Unit went to Bergen County Jail in Hackensack, New Jersey, and took custody of Luis Geraldo Fernandez, 31 years old, on an active warrant. Now, Geraldo Fernandez is suspected in the participation of a phone scam against a 90-year-old female Stanford resident, which defrauded her out of $9,000 while posing as an acquaintance of hers. Now, with the joint cooperation of the Fair Lawn, New Jersey Police Department, Geraldo Fernandez was extradited to Connecticut and held on a $50,000 bond and given a court date of April 24th. Now, Stanford police say this was an excellent job performed by investigator Paul DeRue, who specializes in crime perpetrated on elderly residents of Stanford. All right, let's take a turn now and get one final look at your forecasts with John Kovach. John.
Thanks, Kate. Looks like it's turning towards spring today. Temperatures expected to top out around 54 degrees. Nice light breeze this afternoon around 10 miles an hour. Mostly clear overnight with a high of 36 heading into Thursday morning. Thursday, we'll see temperatures getting up into the mid-50s again with partly sunny skies in the morning. Then we'll see increasing cloud cover starting around 1 and breezy conditions in the afternoon. Wind gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour. A low of 45 overnight Thursday as the cloud cover starts to break up. And then it might just feel like spring because we might see 70 degrees Friday. Back to you, Kate.
All right, that sounds pretty good. And we are going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. Coming up at 12:30 on CT Pulse, I'm joined by Deb Greenwood, the CEO of the Center for Family Justice, to talk about Sexual Assault Awareness Month and the upcoming Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. That coming up at 12:30, but we're going to wrap things up here. We will see you tomorrow at 11 with the latest local news. Have a great day.